So let's talk about this guy who got exposed by a business owner because he dropped a bad review on the page of the business. So this story happened in 2022, precisely September 9th. Now this particular guy, his name is Shawn Mackey. Now Shawn Mackey, now one kind jaye guy, he wants to just enjoy his life. He wanted to have a good time with his old friends. And so therefore, what he did was that he booked a room, he booked a house, actually a 3 bedroom house, through this app, this Airbnb that everybody use, Airbnb. So he booked the 3 bedroom in Memphis in Tennessee, and he booked it for people, for him to stay from 9th to 11th of that September 2022. And it was just him and 3 of his friends that were going to stay in the house. Although in the booking, he wrote to the owner of the place, of the property, a super host in charge of the place. Her name is Pamela. Pamela has been a super host for a very long time, so she's very experienced. And mind you, the house costs $567 per night. $567 per night. You know, before you book that kind of house, you must have you must be preparing to do something very wonderful in that kind of place. And Shawn Mackey was definitely planning to do something very worthwhile in that place. So he messaged the owner of this property and said, "Hey, I am coming over to the house. We're about to come. I'm going to have my friends over, like 9 people, although I plan to invite more people to the place. However, it's only just me and 3 of my friends that are going to be sleeping over at the house. The rest people are going to go after having a dinner with us. They're not going to stay over." To which Pamela, the super host, the owner of the property, was very excited. In fact, she even said she's waiting. She can't wait to host all of them. She can't wait to host everybody that are coming to that place. So before you know it, Suma send some terms and conditions. You know, when you lodge in a hotel or you lodge in any place at all, there's always terms and conditions, which everything in life is terms and conditions involved anyway. So this woman sent the terms and conditions to Shawn Mackey and say, "Hey, I know you guys are coming to the house. I'm excited to be receiving you guys, but there are rules and regulations that you must obey. One of the rules is that there's no noise making. You cannot be doing night party," because she obviously know that when guys get together, they will make noise, they will do parties, they will do a lot of things that can generate noise and disturb, the nearby neighbors and the nearby people. So they didn't want that to happen because that property was specifically located in a very quiet neighborhood. So she didn't want them to make that noise. So she told them, "Hey, you cannot do night parties, you cannot be drinking. I mean, you can drink, obviously, but you cannot be drunk and start misbehaving. You cannot even block the parking lot and all those things. You cannot even vape or smoke. You cannot even cook in that place. You're only just going to stay there quietly, have your stay, have your nice time with your friends, and go. You cannot do anything more than that, because if the police for any reason come to that property because the neighbor complained that you are making hell of noise, you are going to be paying more than $200 as charges that the Airbnb will charge you." So therefore, he sent all of these things beforehand to Shawn Mackey to let them know beforehand what is expected of them when they come to lodge in that place. And of course, they accepted. So of course, we don't do all of these things. We're just going to have a nice time and all of that. So therefore, the case was settled until the day that he lodged in, or they check in. Jason, Shawn Mackey and his friends, they check into the place. And that day, all of a sudden, this woman started and said, "Oh, Pamela, now the super host, who didn't say this before that time when they rented this place, she never said all these things. She only gave them the rules. She never told them what she's about to tell Jason now." She was like, "Jason, I'm sorry I never got to talk about this with you, but actually, the maximum number of people that can stay in that place is 8 people. Meanwhile, by this time, Jason already had 9 people as a guest list in that bookings. So therefore, now she's not telling Mackey now, 'Hey, you guys cannot have more than 8 people in that particular place.' And whether they stay there, whether the 8 people stay over or they don't sleep over, the Airbnb, you have to pay particular fee. Those every extra guest list have to attract a specific cost according to Airbnb policy. So therefore, you have to pay all of that, whether they sleep over or not." And Jason was very surprised. Like, "You told me that you were okay, that even the 9 people that I had initially put on the booking, you told me you were okay with it. Why is it that you are not changing my?" It became a problem between Shawn Mackey and Pamela. Shawn Mackey was like, "You never told me that you don't want all of this list. You were okay with me adding all these guest lists. How is it that all of a sudden you don't want them?" Only for Pamela to wake up the next day and send them a message and say, all of you have to go. You cannot keep staying in this place because neighbors reported that you guys are making noise. Therefore, you are becoming a nuisance and disturbance to the entire neighborhood. So therefore, you have to pack your load and go. Stranded and not knowing what to do. Just Shawn Mackey called Pamela's number the following day. But unfortunately, it was the husband that picked the phone call. Shawn Mackey explained everything to the husband because man to man, the guy said, well, you can just stay. It doesn't matter. Only for when Jason to check out the next day and they were about to go home. Only for him to see that by this time, Shawn Mackey is already angry. He's already upset about the whole situation because they came here to have a good time. Obviously, they are not having a good time. He's about to check out and then he saw that Airbnb were charging him 900 something dollars, over $900 as penalty for breaking the rules of the Airbnb. And the rule is that obviously he lodged more people that were supposed to stay there. It's like Pamela has told Airbnb only 8 people are allowed to stay in the property, and Shawn Mackey has obviously invited more than that number in the property. So it became an issue. So Airbnb finding over $900, and then he was very angry. He went to the Airbnb app and then went to the particular property that he lodged. That particular property, he went there and wrote a very terrible review about the property. It was so bad that Pamela, the super host, of course, you will see the review when the people drop review on your business. And you know what bad review can do to business? People will not patronize you anymore. People may likely not patronize you because of the bad review that other people are reviewing on your business. So therefore, Pamela messaged Shawn directly and say, hey man, I see that you just dropped a comment, a very funny comment on my business page. Do you remember this particular picture on the at 3:60 a.m. exactly? Last night you came home with another woman, and I know that you and I know that this woman is not your wife. So do you want me to send this video, these pictures, because my CCTV camera captured everything, how you were sneaking to bring this woman in at that kind of time in the night? And you and I know that if your wife see this thing, she will not be happy. Anyway, even though Pamela denied it, but somehow those pictures and videos ended up in the phone of Shawn Mackey's wife. Shawn Mackey's wife ended up seeing those pictures. So therefore now, Shawn Mackey is now suing Pamela and Airbnb for intruding into his personal privacy. And he told the court that, hey, yes, I was the one in that video and that pictures. And yes, the woman that was with me was not my wife. And this guy filed 22 pages against Pamela and Airbnb. Do you think this guy was right to file that complaint, or do you think Pamela was right to reveal that secret to his wife?
Another story,